As much as this car means to me, I do think all good things have to come to an end. Over the past 3 years, since I started having the vision of wanting my own engine swapped E30, I was only just turned 18. I wasn't in the financial situation to make it happen. One of my dad's mates, Mick, he pulls up in his red E30. As he was pulling up, just the sound that was coming out of that very stock, old-looking car just didn't line up. And he popped the bonnet and, it wasn't stock at all, was it? And then he took me for a spin around the circuit or whatever, and oh my god, it was one of the best feelings I've ever had. And I knew from that second, I have to do this to my car. Well, after I bought the E30, it was pretty underwhelming. It was slow, burnt through heaps of oil, all the suspension was blown, the steering was horrible. It leaked every fluid. It wasn't great. It deserved to have the treatment, And this is when I started taking it seriously. I'm like, no, I've got to get a better job. So I did, and I did whatever it took. When your vision, when your passion's that strong, you do whatever it takes. I'd go to work, come home at 5 p.m, work on the car until like 1 a.m. And I was happy doing that. And this was peak COVID too, so this was something I could really just focus on and absorb myself in, and yeah, it was great. And then it came to the day where I pulled the car in the garage, turned it off for the last time, jacked it up, and got into it. And first thing I had to do was take the old engine out, which was quite the nightmare. All the bolts were rusted together, so grind everything off, and it was quite dodgy. It doesn't help when the courier loses, I think, 4 or 5 packages of really expensive car parts. After going through a lot of complications, going through a couple of engines, I finally found an engine on Facebook Marketplace, and I dropped the engine in. Just seeing what it was going to look like it was awesome. It actually motivated me to get the car done even quicker and kept me going, Well, when we got the E30 back from the alignment shop, this is right after getting it running, my dad was like, Zach, you've got to try this. So I jumped in the passenger seat, and without hesitation, he just floored it. Oh my god. I couldn't stop laughing for about 30 minutes. Just the feeling of being thrown back in the seat of a car that was on jack stands for about 6 months or so. It's an overwhelming feeling of achievement and satisfaction. Driving it personally for me, the first time not being a passenger in it, was quite intimidating because you're listening for every sound. It took me a few weeks before I actually got the guts to actually floor it for the first time, shifting through the gears, doing a pull. Doesn't look like it would handle well, doesn't look like it would be fast. It's a car that's fit for a grandpa, but under the facade, it's an absolute monster. The fact that we are literally human flesh, just in a metal box, and we're able to do these things through space and time, it's just wicked. This is why people love cars, building cars. I completely understand it. It all paid off in the end. The amount of memories I've made with this car is something I'll never forget. And I've made so many memories, so many friends. It eventually got to a point where the car doesn't really bring me happiness as much as it used to now. It's just that I'm at a different stage in my life from when I first started working on this car. And I'm currently at film school now, and I genuinely think it's the thing I'm born to do, and I just don't have time to, drive it around, which sucks. It kills me. It pains me to just watch it collect dust in the garage, and I'd rather just sell it, give it to someone that can share the happiness I once did with the E30 when I started building it. I'm still just very grateful I got to do this when I did, when I was still deciding what to do with my life. It's a beautiful car. I've had a beautiful journey with it. I couldn't ask anything more from a metal box with 4 wheels on it.